Count Binface got 9,455 votes in Clacton last night. That is more than 1 in 4 people who turned out to choose a bin over Nigel Farage. Farage is the most unpopular he has ever been, on minus 46 with YouGov, matching the worst score of his entire decade in that tracker. Reform have fallen 6 points since May and now sit behind Labour. The party's own favourability is the lowest YouGov has ever recorded. Farage brought this on himself. He resigned as MP for Clacton while under investigation by Parliament's standards watchdog over a £5 million gift he took and never registered. Then announced he would fight the seat again, saying he wanted the voters of Clacton to judge him rather than the establishment. He was asking 20-odd thousand people in Essex to overrule a parliamentary process they have no power over. And senior figures inside Reform have since briefed that he was poorly advised, with nobody around him grasping that the investigation would resume the moment he returned to Parliament. This morning, that is exactly what happened. The watchdog now lists the investigation as active again. A by-election costing around £250,000 of public money has settled precisely nothing. Then there was last night. While a count took place at Clacton Leisure Centre, Farage was 25 minutes away at a ticketed, private event on an airbase called Farage Fest, celebrating a result that had not been declared. A political festival named after the leader. This is Trumpism imported wholesale into Britain, a party built around the cult of one man, and the only broadcaster allowed inside was GB News, which pays Farage almost £1.2 million a year. He said he stayed away from the camp because Essex Police had warned him of an organised campaign to disrupt the declaration. Essex Police then said they had advised no candidate to stay away and that there had been no incidents anywhere in the constituency. The story is highly suspect. He blamed police advice the police say they never gave, and in the same breath told us he was not prepared to stand on that stage and be demeaned and humiliated. Farage did not want to be photographed next to a bin that nearly 10,000 people had voted for in a contest he engineered for himself. This morning, Richard Tice defended it, and the story had already changed. It was no longer the police who warned Farage off. It was his private security team acting on its own intelligence. And we are asked to trust them over the police. It is the same pattern as the £5 million, where the explanation shifted from personal security to a reward for Brexit and back again. The stories keep changing, and nobody can work out which version to believe. Farage called the result an overwhelming endorsement and said he had beaten the establishment candidate, by which he meant the bin. When the Financial Times asked what it had achieved given the investigation was restarting, he said, "Who cares? The voters of Clacton don't care." The voters of Clacton decide who represents Clacton. They do not get to decide whether an MP broke the code of conduct, and no number of votes changes what the watchdog finds. Farage spent £250,000 of public money to prove a point he has no ability to prove, refused to stand on stage and hear the result read out, and woke up this morning under investigation exactly as he was before.